Recently, I got the chance to play the demo for Final Fantasy VII Remake, a remake of a classic game in a series I have never played before. The demo is excellent, the game looks amazing, and now my experience has got me thinking that I may try out the full game at some point. Although certainly not when it comes out. I'll be busy with Persona 5 Royal and Zero no Kiseki. It was announced as I was recording this. What Final Fantasy VII Remake's demo did, though, is what a good demo should do, and that is generate interest in the game. We can read all the news, watch the videos of people lucky enough to get early access, or speculate online wildly, but the only way to really get a good feeling for what a game is going to be like is through playing the game. Demos offer that chance, and that's why demos are incredibly useful in building hype around a game, but a lot of games don't offer them. Should that be the case? Or is the game industry missing out by not offering a chance for players to play the game before they commit to purchasing it? Quite a few games I have played and mentioned on this channel recently have demos. It's one of the ways I determine if a game is worth my time. Early on in my gaming life, I didn't get the chance to play demos. The way then I picked many of my games was by playing them at friends' houses and seeing which ones I liked. As I got older and the game industry turned towards digital copies and internet-based platforms, demos became more part of my decision-making process behind getting a game. I only got into the Fire Emblem games after playing the Fire Emblem Awakening demo and enjoying it so much I had to get the game. Today I use demos to either research a game I don't know about that I'm intrigued by, such as Football Tactics and Glory or I, the Somnium Files, or I use them to build up more hype for games I'm already looking forward to, such as Valkyria Chronicles 4 or Trails of Cold Steel 3. Demos work to do both because they offer something nothing else can, a taste of the game itself. You know, the thing that we're all hoping is worth our money? Some companies are recognizing this and making demos part of their marketing pitch, and even coming up with unique ways to do demos. One notable example is Octopath Traveler, which got an early demo featuring the characters Primrose and Ulbrich from the main game. What they did though was get feedback from demo players on improvements that could be made, and that feedback led to changes in the final game. Octopath then released a second demo after those changes were made, featuring the first chapter of every single one of the 8 travelers that could be used as soon as the game released as well. Using demos to get pretty much free bug testing and player feedback is an excellent use of a demo, and the hype around the game only grew after both of the demos, resulting in Octopath's excellent sales. A good demo can do a lot, but demos can also give the players a chance to figure out that a game just isn't for them. My personal example comes with Bravely Default, a JRPG for the 3DS that I played the demo for and simply wasn't all that engaged with. Sure, the creators certainly wanted to get that potential sale from me that they may have gotten without the demo, but the number of customers that buy it based on the demo, if it is truly a quality game worthy of support, probably outweighs the players turned away by the gameplay. That makes demos seemingly a win-win proposition, so then why aren't demos more readily available? When I say readily available, I'm not just referring to games that have no demos whatsoever, but also to the growing number of games that have console demos but do not have PC demos. Octopath Traveler did not have a demo when it came to PC after the Switch, but that may have been because of the more than a year-long gap between releases, although that didn't stop Trails of Cold Steel 3 from having one. Valkyria Chronicles 4 and I, the Somnium Files, though, had simultaneous cross-platform releases, but had no PC demo despite having console demos. The reverse is rarely true, although I have seen it, most recently with Football Tactics and Glory, but the usual MO is to have a console demo but not a PC one. The stated reason for this is because of the worries of game piracy and not wanting to give hackers extra time before release to crack the game's anti-piracy safeguards. As some of you may know though, research showed game piracy to have minimal to no effect on game sales, link in the description. However, the game industry has ignored those reports for as long as they've existed, so the anti-PC demo hysteria remains. Why no demos at all then, even on consoles for other games? An article I read from 2018 on Gamepressure, linked in the description, suggests a few reasons. Number one is the exact reason I said. Demos are so useful because they show gameplay, the good and the bad. They can't deceive in the same way trailers or even curated streams of gameplay can, and without that deception, the game loses sales. This viewpoint is certainly not coming from a positive opinion on the game industry, which is frankly earned given how high-profile games have become a haven for some of the industry's worst practices. As I argued before though, I think the number of people willing to buy a game after playing a demo would make up for the lost sales from those who lose interest. Neither side though has the data to back up those opinions, so I'll leave that at rest for the second point I want to highlight from the article. Different points of accessibility to early gameplay. Open or closed betas for certain players have begun growing in popularity, a somewhat recent example being the closed beta for pre-orders seen with Planet Zoo. It is effectively similar to what the first demo for Octopath Traveler did, but with a different label, allowing Planet Zoo to get some much needed bug testing and player feedback, which led to a whole new gameplay mode being created for the game. The article also points to Steam's refund system as offering a similar experience to a demo. So long as the game has been purchased less than 2 weeks ago and has 2 or fewer hours played, you can refund it, no questions asked. To quote the article directly, although none of these initiatives is a fully fledged substitute for demos, they're quite effective in compensating for lack thereof. I happen to agree. These systems are cool and useful in certain situations. However, they do not fully replicate the experience offered by a well-constructed demo. Namely, getting to the core gameplay that is missing in early hours of some games, or offering a polished product not seen in a beta build. It seems though that the industry has decided for the most part that the effort and cost involved in making a well-constructed demo is more than the potential exposure and profit gained from making one. I have a feeling they are not making the correct decision on that front, but it wouldn't be the first time the industry did something against its own interests. As you might be able to tell after listening to me ramble on for this long, my answer to the question, should more games have demos, is yes. Demos went out of fashion in the last decade, but I'm pleased they've stuck around to get me excited for games like Final Fantasy VII Remake or Chris Tales. There are still some developers who recognize their worth, and I thank them for it. Let me know what your thoughts are on demos in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more content, and share this video around. Who knows, maybe some developer will see it and decide to put a demo in their next game. You won't know for sure unless you share it. In any case, I hope you enjoyed the video, have a great day, and happy gaming.